So, a problems generated in a computer or in our daily life. So, how can we solve that type of problems? First of all, introduction. In our daily life, we have a lot of problems. Solving can be mentally or with the use of machine. So, we can get required outcome. Suppose we have facing a lot of problems. Suppose today we are facing a corona problem, right? So, there are a lot of problems we are facing now. Some problems can be predictable, but others cannot be predictable exactly. So, problem solving can be classified into two types, well defined or ill defined. The problem which is defined well, which is known as a well defined. In a computer, we can only use the well defined problems. A program is a set of logical instructions given to a computer to accomplish some task or to solve a problem. Let's see. We solve any problem using the step mentioned. So, in a computer, we solve problems. First, define the problem. First, what is the problem is defined. Suppose reaching a school. Suppose we take an example to find the route from our home to a school. So, it's our problem. So, first of all, define the problem. Define your problem. Second step, identify the input, output and constraint of the problem. Okay, we take an example to find the route from our home to school. So, home is our input and school is our output, which is the destination which we want to go. So, it's a input and output. Identify that input or output. Third step, different alternative to solve the problems. Choose the best possible alternative from the above list. Suppose there are two ways to reach the school from our home. Suppose first from bridge and second from under bridge. Then choose that possible alternative from the above list, the best possible alternative. Then prepare detailed stepwise instruction, set of the identified alternative, computer results using the instruction set, check correctness of the answer obtained. Step 1 to 5 performed by the person and step 6 and 7 performed by a computer. Assume that we need to find the whether the given number is odd or even. So, we know that the odd number are 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9 etc. and the even number are 2, 4, 6. So, to find whether number is odd or even, the following set of instruction can be used to solve this problem. First, accept the number. Let's take number. Suppose suppose the number is a 4, right? Accept the number as a 4. Second, divide the number by 2 and find the remainder. Okay, we take a number as a 4. Then divide the number by 2. Suppose we divide 4 by 2, then remainder which is 2. Now take a step 3. If remainder is 1, the given number is odd, otherwise the number is even. Here, our remainder is 2 because we divide the number 4 by 2 and the remainder which is 2. So, our remainder is 2. So, it's a even number, not a odd number. Suppose let's take a second example. Accept the number as a 5. Then divide the number by 2. Then 5 divided by 2. And the remainder is 1. So, given number is odd. So, for that step we find a number which is odd or even. The generalized solution to the problem is obtained using a 3 different technique. To solve the problem in a computer, there is a 3 different technique. First is a pseudocode, second flowchart and third is algorithm. In your book or in your syllabus, there is only 2 problem is using flowchart and algorithm. Let's see what a flowchart. A flowchart is a one type of program that we use to solve a problem in our computer. So, a flowchart is a graphical representation of steps. There is a different types of symbols available to solve any problems. So, it is a graphical representation of steps. It was originated from computer science as a tool for representing algorithms and programming logic, but has extended to use in all other kinds of processes. Nowadays, flowcharts play an extremely important role in displaying information and assisting reasoning. They help us visualize complex process or make explicit the structure of problem and task. With using a flowchart, a problem solved can be easily with use of graphical representation or with different types of symbol. You have to remember all the symbols that are used in a flowchart. A flowchart can also be used to define a process or project to be implemented. Let's see, there is a different types of flowchart symbols are available. Different flowchart shapes have a different conventional meanings. The meanings of some of the more common shapes are as follows. First is a terminator. Okay, a flowchart. Let's see first over. What is a flowchart? Okay, this type of flowchart. Okay, this is a basic example of what is a flowchart. Steps or a program which represent a graphical representation to solve any problem. So the flowchart start from this start symbol and end from this end symbol. Let's take in a brief. First is a terminator. The terminator symbols represent the starting or ending point of the system. Any flowchart can start with that type of symbols, which is a start and then that type of arrow and that type of end. The flowchart is ended. So it's a terminator symbol, represents the starting or ending point of the system. Next, input or output. When we define a problem, then first of all define an input and what is output. So for that type of symbol is used. Every problem needs an input. It then processes this input and generates the output. First of all we give a input, then after that process something, and then we receive a output for that. So consider the problem. Here we need to input one number, dividing the number by 2 and finding the remainder is the process, and the decision whether the given number is odd or even is output. In above example we take a number, so this number is an input for that program. So for that here provide a number which is the input, then here process the number is divided by 2 and take a remainder and then check the number is even or odd and then find the print the given number is odd. This is the output or this is the input. This is the start symbol and end symbol. So this is the input or output symbol for flowchart. Next, the arrow. What is the arrow meaning? Indicate directional flow. The arrow is used to guide the viewer along their flowcharting path, and while there are many different types of arrow tips to choose from, we recommended sticking with 1 or 2 for your entire flowchart. This keeps your diagrams looking clean but also allows you to emphasize certain steps in your process. See that type of symbol which is the arrow symbol. The rectangle, the step in the flowcharting process. Okay, the rectangle shape is used to identify the process of your flowchart. The rectangle is your go-to symbol once you have started flowcharting. It represents any step in the process you are diagramming and in the work hours of the flowchart diagram. Use the rectangle to capture the process steps like basic task or action in your process. So suppose Q number divided with 10, divide the given number by 10, R. So that type of process steps followed by a rectangle shape. So when we want to define a process, then a rectangle shape is used. So you remember that when what is the symbol for define a process in a flowchart? Then it's a rectangle. Next, decision. A diamond represents a decision or a branching point. Lines coming out from the diamond indicates the different possible situation leading to a different sub-process. Okay, decision like a logical structure or logical symbols. Suppose a condition, find a condition and then check the true or false. So that type of problem is solving with that type of symbol which is a decision or a diamond symbol. This diamond symbol indicates the decision of a flowchart. So suppose here condition is applied, then if condition is true, then next statement executed and then exit. If here condition is false, then go to the exit. So this diamond is used for check the condition in a flowchart. Suppose here check. So here for first of all check the condition. If condition is true, then next statement is executed. Second, if condition is false, then next statement is executed and then exit. Now, combining more than one decision. If you want to combine more than one decision, then this type of symbol is used. First here, check the condition. If condition is true, then that statement is at 1 executed and then flow go to here and then exit. Okay. If suppose first condition is false, then go to check the second condition. If second condition is true, then statement set 2 is executed and then go to the exit loop. Okay. If second condition is also false, then go to the condition number 3 and check the condition. If condition is true, then statement set 3 is executed and then go to the false. Otherwise, go to the, if condition third is false, then go to again exit. So that type of symbol or that type of structure is used to combining more than one decision. Connector. In flowchart, the symbol is typically small and is used as a connector to show a jump from one point in the process flow to the another. If you want to connect more than two or more two flowchart, then that type of connector is used. Connectors are usually labeled with capital letters A, B, AA to show a matching jump points. They are handy for avoiding from lines that cross the other shapes and flow lines. See, break from one flowchart. When we want a break from one flowchart, then that type of connector symbol is used. If we want to joining another flowchart, then this type of symbol is used. Example of flowchart. Let's take an example of flowchart. First, given a problem. A problem is, suppose Ms. Janvi has borrowed a loan of rupees 35,000 at the rate of 11.5% from a bank for 6 years. Okay, calculate the simple interest. In your maths, to find the simple interest, we know that there is a formula which is I is equal to PRN divided with 100. So for that, we have a rupees which is a 35,000. Rate of percent is 11.5% and number of years is a 6 years. Then calculate the simple interest. Solution. The formula to compute the simple interest T on a loan of principal amount of P at the interest rate of R for n years as I is equal to P cross R cross and divided with 100. We know that the formula of simple interest is I is equal to PRN divided with 100. So to solve this problem, we required for a variable I, P, R, N and constant value 100. So figure shows the flowchart to solve the problem. Okay, in your maths we can find that type of problem. First of all, we take a I, P, R, N value and divide with 100 and we find a I, which is a simple interest. But how to find that type of solution of that problem in a computer with flowchart? First of all, let's take a symbol which is the start symbol. So start with that type of symbol, start. Next, given a input. So input here is a P, R, N. P which is the 35,000 rate or N is equal to 6 years. Next, I is equal to PRN 100 which is the process in a rectangle shape. Next, print I which is the output. So this or this is the input or output and this is the process and this is the start or end. So this is the flowchart to solve or find the simple interest. Next, okay, second problem is find the profit here. Find the profit or loss when income is 1000 and cost is 800. Okay, what is find profit or loss? Find the profit or loss when income is 1000 and cost is 800. So let's take a flowchart. First of all, start with start symbol, then read income. Income is 1000, so read income. Income is 1000. Second, read cost. Cost is 800. Find the condition. Okay, if income is greater than or equal to cost, then see, this is the symbol for find the condition. Income is greater than equal to cost. If yes, then calculate profit as a income minus cost. We know that if income is higher than cost, then it's definitely profit. But if income is less than cost, then it's a loss. So for that we require to give a condition like income is greater than equal to cost, then calculate profit as an income and print profit and next If income is greater than equal to cost, is this condition is false, then calculate loss as a cost minus income and print loss and given end. See, here income is 1000, grid income, cost is 800. Check the condition, 1000 is greater than 800, yes. Then profit is 1000 minus 800 and the profit is 200, and then next is flowchart advantages. It is convenient method of communication. It indicates very clearly just what is being done where a program has logical complexities. It is an important tool for planning and designing a new system. So flowchart is useful to design and planning a something new system. It clearly indicates the role played at each level. It saves the inconvenience in a future and serves the purpose of documentation for a system. It provides an overview of the system. Generally, flowchart is mainly used to provide an overview of the system with some graphical representation and also demonstration the relationship between the various steps. Facilitates troubleshooting. It makes sure that no logical path is left incomplete without any action being taken. So there are some flowchart advantages. Now there are some disadvantages also. The flowchart is a waste of time and slows down the process of software development. See, why it is a waste of time? Because there is a lot of graphical representation is required for given a problem solving flowchart. So it's a time wasting, slow down. The flowchart is quite costly to produce and difficult to use and manage. Flowcharts are not meant for man-to-computer communication. Sometimes the complex logic of the program logic is quite complicated to draw out on by using a different defined shapes. In that case, flowchart becomes complex and clumsy. This will become a pain for the users. Mainly in a flowchart, you remember the all the direction or all the symbols, resulting in a waste of time and money trying to correct the problem. If you need to modify or alternate the process, then it will be very hard to do in the flowchart, because either you will have to erase the end of the flowchart or a start of the flowchart. So there are some disadvantages of flowcharts. Next, we know that there are 3 steps: pseudocode, flowchart and algorithm. We learn about the flowchart. Next, we are going to learn about what is algorithm. So to make a computer do anything, you have to write a computer program. To write a computer program, you have to tell the computer step by step exactly what you want it to do. So this is simply known as an algorithm. The computer then executes the program following each step mechanically to accomplish the end goal. This step by step instruction is called algorithm. So what is algorithm? Algorithm is step by step instruction which given to the computer. Now, okay, there is also a problem. Suppose there is a first problem. Your friend has reached your home and is now interested in coming to your school. Okay, he or she calls you and asks for direction to reach your school. To instruct him or her on how to reach the school, you will first need to have some route location in mind. Suppose your friend has reached your home and he or she want to interested in you coming to your school. So first of all, we know the path from our school to home or home to school, right? So for that, how to reach the school, you will first need to have some route location in mind. So see, there is some route map available here. It's your home and this is your school. Okay, now your friend here and you are here. So first of all, in your mind, set the path of that first of all solution. Okay, we know that there is some right path, left turn, right turn in your mind. But how to instruct your friend? So you instruct your friend with some step-by-step instruction which is called as an algorithm. So solution is, using the route map given in a figure, you will be able to guide your friend step by step as mentioned below. Okay, how to explain your friend? First, suppose you start with here, right, from your home. Suppose 300 meters straight, then left turn, then again straight, then take a circle, then straight, then right turn, and then 300 meter, and then school. It's a basic path on your mind. Now, instruct your friend. How to instruct your friend? First of all, step 1. Start from my home and take a right and go for 300 meters. See, first of all, home, take a right turn and straight 300 meter. Then we know that there is a left turn. Take a left turn and straight 100 meter. See, step 2. Now take a left turn and go straight for another 100 meter. Next, here. Again take a right turn and straight 500 meter. See, step 3. Take a right turn and walk for 500 meter. You will encounter a 4-cross road with a circle. See, there is a circle. Now, step number 4. Do not take a turn at a circle. Instead, keep on working in the direction you were walking till another 700 meter. Not take any turn. Go to a straight and straight walk at a 700 meter. Then take a right turn. See, in step 5. Now take a right turn. After 600 meters, you will reach the another crossroads with a oval-shaped fountain in the middle. See, there is a fountain here. Now, in step 6, take a left turn from this junction and walk for 300 meter. See here, 300 meter. Step 7, you will be able to see my school on the right side of the street. So it's a basic information which you given to your friend to reach your school from your home